The expression of gratitude is, I think, an act that always carries with it a trace of failure. But still, I will try. Thank you to my mentors and colleagues who guide me through. Thank you especially to Suzanne Raitt and Charlie McGovern, who nominated me for this award. Thank you to the administration, President Reevely, especially Deans Conley, Hamza, and Thompson, who have offered me steadfast support in my time here. Perhaps my greatest debt is to my students. I can't craft the language adequate enough to thank them, to let them know how much working with them matters to me. I just can't. So I'll simply say thank you and try my best to tell you individually and in time. This is a collaborative award, an honor we share together. I'm haunted by the fact that there are so many people I haven't thanked. Maybe because they've done something for me, quietly and behind the scenes, and I didn't even know it. Or because I haven't taken the time. I wish I had said more to my colleague and friend, Paula Blank, who left us behind, stunned and made to grieve her absence. I never told her how much I admired her. From her wry humor and her great fashion sense and her stunning brilliance, I still have so much to learn from her. What are we doing here? The question, simple though it sounds, is itself open to interpretation. Is it meant to express exasperation or frustration? Do I already have an answer in mind? Is it a ruse? Here refers to time and space. So which do I mean? Well, as we've heard today and right now, we're here to celebrate and mark what I will say is one of the origins of our university. The Royal Charter and Origin Narrative. I was fascinated to learn that the original copy of the charter was lost, likely between 1765 and 1783. An origin suggests singularity, a beginning from which a series of things unfolds, all owing their existence to that singular time and space. But if we pay attention to its etymology, origin means a coming into being, a phrase that suggests an ongoing process, never a foregone conclusion. There's much to say about the term Colony of Virginia, which, as we heard, appears in the second sentence of the Royal Charter. So what are we doing here could mean on lands that belong still to the Pamunkey, Chickahominy, Eastern Chickahominy, Rappahannock, Upper Mattaponi, Nansemond, Monacan, Nottoway, and the Patawamek peoples and their ancestors, and the people like the Kiskiak who are now gone. To all the enslaved people on whose labor and bodies this nation was built, and from which it still profits. Many of our colleagues and our students are engaged in projects that account for these narratives too, to make sure they aren't lost or forgotten. These projects show us how origins get lost and recovered, are silenced, and now need to be brought to the fore. We must keep going. That work takes many forms, from the classroom to the admissions office, to how we treat those who work so hard to keep the university running. I ask my students, what are we doing here every chance I get? Multiple times in each class meeting. I'm not sure I've ever uttered that phrase exactly. I prefer the question disguise itself in the texts we read, in our prose, and in the way we relate to each other on the day-to-day. So in that context, what are we doing here means, why do this? Why carry on about language? In the case of reading fiction, these people aren't even real, so why do we care what they say? I imagine in the days to come, those of us committed to public education, to classrooms and texts, to complex thought, to language and characters, will register an acute urgency in the question, what are we doing here? In some cases, that question might be asked of us in a tone that registers more like a demand, and the stakes of our answers are high. I'll tell them that my students and I are learning to resist simplification and distraction, that we value complexity, a story that demands to be read multiple times, slowly and carefully. I'll say that we work every day to realize these complexities and contradictions of origins and to be instrumental in the process of coming into being. Thank you so much for this honor.